This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. A municipal councillor in this town was fatally shot early Thursday by unidentified assailants on a motorbike, police said. Roberto Carpio, a resident of Barangay Luas and a two-term member of the municipal council, was driving his motorcycle when ambushed around 7:30 am by two men wearing black shirts and shorts aboard a black single motorcycle, without a helmet, in Barangay Santo Cristo in this town. An initial investigation showed the victim had gunshot wounds in the head, while the assailants fled northward. According to a police report, Carpio was taken to the nearest hospital where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. Authorities have begun reviewing security camera footage to identify and apprehend the suspects. The motives behind the attack have yet to be determined. The Anti-Red Tape Authority said it has successfully prosecuted 8 red tape cases for this year alone, with 5 of these cases coming from the Land Transportation Office. In a media forum, ARTA Director General Secretary Ernesto Perez said the conviction of the said cases proves that ARTA is serious in quelling anomalous transactions within government offices. We want to set an example. You know that we in government don't want to press charges. We don't want to be facing charges before the Civil Service Commission, before the Office of the Ombudsman, before any regular court. So, we would like to send that strong signal. So that is why in the last 2 years we have conducted entrapment operations. Most are from the Land Transportation Office, he added. According to Perez, 5 of the red tape cases that they have successfully prosecuted were from the LTO, 1 from the Bureau of Fire Protection, 1 from the Philippine Statistics Authority, and another from an undisclosed local government unit. Despite this, the ARTA official recognized the reforms that LTO has implemented to improve its services, whether online or walk-in services. They have improved fire services. They are fully digitalized. When you apply for your driver's license, you can get it in a matter of minutes, Perez said. If you walk in, it's also quick for walk-in application. Half day you can get it, he added. Meanwhile, Perez hoped that government agencies would realize that ARTA is only doing its job. ARTA is very serious in this matter, to streamlining and improving our government processes. It is the advantage of our people to give them the strong signal that there is an agency that is looking at their performance, that there is this agency that is serious about implementing the law, that is conducting entrapment operations to catch fixers, he said. It's the same with the LTO. We know that you don't need fixers anymore because the process of renewing your driver's license and getting your vehicle's registration is fast, he added. Perez encouraged the public to file complaints with ARTA against erring officials. Let us know so that we can be of help, he said. The Supreme Court affirmed the liability of former Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation Chair Efraim Ginuno in the company's disallowed donations totaling 550,000 pesos to a private residential subdivision in Makati City in 2008, in a 16-page decision promulgated on the 13th of June, 2023, but published only on Thursday. The High Court denied Ginuno's certiorari petition questioning the Commission on Audit's ruling that the donations were private in purpose and he was liable for approving it. It also remanded the case to the COA for a final determination of the amount Ginuno should return. In 2011, a notice of suspension was issued regarding PAGCOR's donations totaling 550,000 pesos to the Magallanes Village Association Incorporated for improving Magallanes Avenue, San Gregorio, and Magdalena Streets in Makati City. Ginuno argued that the board of directors, and not him, approved the payout of PAGCOR funds. The High Court, however, said that aside from being the government firm's CEO, Ginuno was also the board chair and was present when they approved the first donation of 330,000 pesos, just as in the 2023 Ginuno resolution. Therefore, and applying once again the guidelines laid down in Torita vs. COA, Ginuno is found personally liable for the donations as an approving officer and for his showing of gross ignorance. It added, the court disagreed with Ginuno's claim that the donations were valid for a socio-civic and public purpose. It cited information from the Makati City administrator, who said the streets had not been turned over to the local government. The High Court also noted the COA's earlier finding that Ginuno was a resident of Magallanes Village. Without delving further into the additional ramifications of this finding of the COA, the court finds that these considerations, together with the lack of proof showing that the donations were mainly for a public purpose, all led the court to rule that the disallowance of the donations was indeed proper. It said, a former village official in Deragar town of Albay on Tuesday filed administrative and criminal charges before the Office of the Ombudsman against Governor Edsel Greco-Grex Lagman for allegedly receiving around 8.16 million pesos as payoff from the operation of Juteng, an illegal numbers game, during his time as vice governor of the province, saying he was finally blowing the whistle for fear of his life. Alwin Nemo, a former village and Sangguniang Kabataan chair of Barangay Anaslag, accused Lagman of graft, bribery and violations of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees and Republic Act No. 9287, an act increasing the penalties for illegal numbers game. In the 35-page complaint, Nemo claimed he served as bagman for Juteng operators delivering 60,000 pesos per week to Lagman from the 20th of August 19 to the 20th of June 22. Lagman allegedly demanded the protection money from Juteng operators when the illegal numbers game proliferated after the small town lottery was ordered halted in Albay in 2017. Nemo claimed. Reached for comment, Lagman on Tuesday strongly denied receiving any money from Juteng operators, particularly from Nemo. Lagman said he never demanded a single centavo from illegal numbers game operators. When I assumed the vice governorship, I don't know of any person connected with illegal numbers game. There is, therefore, absolutely no factual basis for me to have allegedly demanded Juteng money from anyone. Those persons involved don't even know me, he said in a phone interview. Regarding the direct bribery complaint lodged against him, he said that under the law, there should be evidence of him protecting his accuser in exchange for the bribe. And what concrete act that's categorical, tangible to protect the illegal numbers game? I don't even know who needs to be protected there. So how could he actually accuse me of direct bribery, he said. He said the filing of cases against him is purely politically motivated, adding it was a badly scripted act to divert the heat from certain big politicians serving in Congress who are under investigation from the Senate for the misuse of billions of pesos of public funds. Nemo, who claimed he had deep connections with Juteng and STL operators in Albay, has alleged that Lagman directed him to be his conduit, asked him to intervene for him and get in touch with the financier of Juteng in Albay after being elected vice governor in 2019. The payola was in exchange for him as vice governor and presiding officer of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to look the other way and refrain from using their investigative powers to inquire into the proliferation of Juteng in Albay. Nemo said, among the Juteng financiers, locally known as Bancaro, identified by Nemo in his affidavit were a late former vice mayor of a Batangas town and another person from Bulacan who had also died. The payoffs were personally handed to Lagman or his driver at a gas station in Legazpi City until sometime in November 2020, when the then vice governor asked for the money to be deposited into a bank account to avoid the possibility of being seen receiving bundles of money in public places, Nemo claimed. National Capital Region Police Office Chief, Major General Jose Malencia Nartates Jr., has ordered the dismissal of 10 police officers from the service for their involvement in the alleged unlawful arrest, arbitrary detention, and robbery of 4 Chinese nationals in a Philippine offshore gaming operator's establishment in Parañaque City in September last year. Ordered dismissed were Lieutenant Colonel Jolad Guevara, Major Jason Quijana, Major John Patrick Magsalas, Captain Sherwin Limboin, Executive Master Sergeant Arsenio Vale, Corporal Rexes Claveria, and Staff Sergeants Roy Piaquinto, Mark Democrito, Danilo Desda and Christian Corpus. The following personnel are dismissed from the service effective the 12th of February for grave misconduct, grave irregularity in the performance of duty, grave neglect of duty, the conduct unbecoming of a police officer, less grave misconduct, less grave neglect of duty. Read the order released on Tuesday, a copy of which was obtained by the Philippine news agency. The Commission on Human Rights said it scored a significant victory with the conviction of 3 policemen it charged with torture before the trial court in Coronadal City in South Cotabato. Police officers Edmar Gerodius, Edwin Habagat, and Alan Candido were found guilty of violation of Republic Act No. 9745, also known as the Anti-Torture Act of 2009, by the Municipal Trial Court in cities. The CHR said the policemen were sentenced to 6 months to 2 years imprisonment each and ordered to pay their victim 5,000 pesos each as temperate damages and 20,000 pesos each as moral damages, and to pay the cost of the suit jointly. It said that Ernesto Omani was arrested by the policeman on the 3rd of February, 2018 for traffic violation and placed in custody. However, it said, the policeman inflicted physical injury on Omani by kicking his face and body, and striking his arm and leg with a rifle butt. The commission strongly denounces any form of violence, particularly when perpetrated by people who are agents of peace and those in positions of authority. This case is not just a blatant violation of the law but also a direct transgression against the principles of humanity, the CHR said in a statement. With the conviction of the 3 policemen, the CHR issued another reminder to all police officers to adhere to the Philippine National Police operational procedures, which states that no violence or unnecessary force shall be used in making an arrest. It stressed that law enforcement officers must understand the importance of proportional and judicious force, since that is the only way to ensure that justice, human rights, and the rule of law are upheld and respected. We remain steadfast in our commitment to protecting the rights of every person, regardless of circumstances. While we recognize the utmost importance of accountability, we believe that the true essence of justice is the fair and humane treatment of all. We shall build a society that protects human rights and enables everyone to live without fear of abuse, torture, or cruelty, the CHR declared. Vice President Sara Duterte condemned Wednesday the ambush of a government physician in Maguindanao del Sur earlier this month. Dr. Charmaine Baraquillo, who works in the Sultan Kudarat Provincial Hospital, was driving her car in Butuan town when she was attacked by unidentified gunmen on the evening of the 3rd of February. Baraquillo survived the attack. Duterte said the incident reflects the state of security and order in the country. We hope that we do not stop until justice is served to Dr. Baraquillo and those responsible for this are held accountable, the vice president said. Our call is to ensure that responsible government agencies ensure the safety of our citizens against the threat of criminals, terrorists, and other forces that seek to intimidate our people and harm our country, she added. After the attack, the wounded Baraquillo managed to drive her car away from the scene of the incident. Medical responders and personnel from the Bulan Municipal Police Station brought her to a hospital for treatment. Dr. Shea, at such a young age and with a bright future ahead of her, will have to spend months and perhaps even years to regain and optimize her functional abilities, the batchmates of Baraquillo and faculty members of the Davao Medical School earlier said. They pointed out that instead of working abroad, Baraquillo chose to serve the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, where there is one physician to 32,000 people. Dr. Charmaine does not deserve this. Her patients do not deserve this. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.